All right, let's talk about something that drives a lot of tech teams crazy. You know, that one big thing that always seems to slow down getting great software out the door? Yep, I'm talking about the testing bottleneck. Today, we're going to look at a really cool solution called Breez, which promises a smarter, simpler way to automate.
So I want you to think about this for a second. Right now, in your organization, is your software testing a bottleneck? Something that just grinds everything to a halt? Or is it a bridge that actually helps you get to market faster and, with real confidence? Yeah, for a lot of folks, it definitely feels more like that bottleneck.
And here's why that is. It's what I call the classic automation dilemma. You've got two choices, right? On one side, you have manual testing. And sure, it can be thorough, but let's be real. It's incredibly slow, it's mind-numbingly repetitive, and it's just so easy for human error to creep in. Then on the other side, you've got your scripted automation. And yeah, it's powerful, but it means you need specialized coders, it's a total nightmare to maintain, and it gets really, really expensive. You're basically stuck between a rock and a hard place.
But hang on, what if that whole dilemma is just a false choice? What if there's a better way to think about this? A way where you don't have to go out and hire a whole squad of expensive specialists, but instead, you can empower the amazing experts you already have on your team.
See, this whole new approach, it's all about a fundamental shift in how we think. It's about looking at the people who know your application inside and out, your manual testers, your QA pros, your business analysts, and completely transforming them
Into what we're now calling citizen automators. And I'm telling you, this one idea, this single concept is a total game changer.
So what exactly is a citizen automator? Well, think of a business user or a QA pro who just gets the application. They know it better than anyone. Now imagine empowering them to create, run, and manage really powerful automated tests. And here's the kicker, all without writing a single line of code. You're tapping into their deep business knowledge, not trying to turn them into programmers.
Okay, so this is where Breez comes into the picture. Let's dive in. It's the no-code automation platform that's built from the ground up to make this whole citizen automator idea a reality. The whole mission behind Breez is super clear. Just get rid of all the complexity, all the technical headaches that have made test automation so difficult for so long. It's all about making something that's both incredibly powerful and super accessible, all in one platform. And really, the core philosophy is just that simple. The idea is that anyone on your team who actually understands the business process should be able to automate it. Period. No need to learn a scripting language, no wrestling with complicated setups. That huge barrier to entry, it's just gone. So, okay, that's the big promise. Smarter, faster, simpler. But how does Breez actually pull it off? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how it works. It all boils down to this really clever three-step process. First up is extract. So imagine you just point Breez at your login screen. It instantly and automatically figures out, okay, that's the username field, that's the password field, and that's the login button. No guesswork. Next, you configure. This is where you use a simple drag-and-drop interface to build your test flow. We're talking about building something in minutes that would have taken hours to code by hand. And finally, execute. You can run these tests whenever you want, 24/7, right from the cloud. They can even run headless, which just means they're chugging away in the background without you needing to watch them. It's pretty slick. And get this isn't just for your shiny new web apps. Breez is designed to be a totally unified solution. So whether you're testing web applications, mobile apps, tricky APIs, or even those old-school AS400 and mainframe systems, you can handle the whole shebang from one place with the exact same no-code approach. Having just one thing to learn for all that, that's a huge, huge win.
Okay, and this next point is absolutely massive for anyone who's ever had to deal with brittle, high-maintenance automation scripts. You know the drill, right? A developer changes a button on the screen and suddenly your whole test script breaks. It's a nightmare. With Breez, maintenance is a completely different story. If that UI element changes, you don't rewrite the script. Nope, you just update that one little object and you're done. Just think about the countless hours of rework that saves.
All right, so we've talked concept, we've talked tech. But what does all this actually mean for the bottom line? Let's talk ROI, because honestly, the numbers here pretty much tell the whole story.
First up, let's talk money. We're looking at a reduction in testing cost of up to 40%. Now, just let that sink in. By empowering the team you already have, your BAs and manual testers, you're not as reliant on those super specialized and, let's face it, expensive automation engineers. That's real, direct savings right there. Next, let's talk about speed. An increase in delivery speed of up to 40%. I mean, think about it. When that testing bottleneck just vanishes because you're running tests around the clock, your whole development cycle just takes off. You find bugs faster, you fix them faster, and you get your new features out the door way ahead of the competition.
And last, but definitely not least, quality. We're talking about an enhancement in your test coverage of up to 50%. And that's because it's suddenly so easy to build new tests. Your team can cover way more ground, more weird scenarios, more edge cases, all the stuff that manual testing just can't get to. And what that really means is you're catching more bugs before your customers ever see them. That's how you protect your brand.
So let's wrap this up and think about what your automation future could look like. Remember how we started by asking if your testing was a bottleneck or a bridge? Well, a tool like Breez is all about making sure it's firmly and finally a bridge.
You know, the main takeaway here is pretty simple. This goes way beyond just a piece of software. It's about changing how your team fundamentally works. You empower your team, giving them tools to actually win. You accelerate your delivery, which keeps you ahead of the game. And most importantly, you ensure your quality, making sure your product is absolutely top-notch.
So, the last thing I'll leave you with is this question. Are you ready to stop looking at your QA team as just a cost center and start seeing them for what they can be? Your new secret weapon, your competitive advantage.
And that wraps up our look at Breez, which is a solution from TestSquare. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in.